Hello beautiful, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bettina and I'm the makeup enthusiast. In today's video I am barefaced because I have a very, very exciting thing to show you. So my Glaminatrix Glamorous Palette arrived. I'm here to share with you all of the deets. My palette is already looking used and abused. I've already created 4 looks using this palette, and I thought that for my last look that I would kind of talk you guys through what I'm doing. So I'll only do one look where I'm talking. The rest of the 4 looks will just be music and you guys can just see what I'm doing playing with it. At the end of the video, I will go through and give you my thoughts on probably like each shadow individually. And how I think that they perform and all of that jazz. Glaminatrix Cosmetics is a Australian-based indie brand. They're actually Queensland-based indie brand. This palette is a 12-pan eyeshadow palette. This comprises of 4 duochromes, 1 high impact shimmer, and then the rest are mattes, and you can kind of tell which ones are which. This palette does retail for 85 Australian dollars, or it works out to be 56 US dollars, and you do have to pay for shipping on top of that. I believe it's $10 for express Australia shipping. Worldwide shipping is a little bit different. You'll have to go onto the website, calculate it based on your location, but it will be a different price depending on where you are in the world. So this is the second palette that I have purchased from Glaminatrix this year. The first one was the Nocturnal. I don't own the Nearly Natural just yet, but I am thinking about buying it. Glaminatrix always gets an A+ for me in terms of customer service. As soon as they saw that my shadow in my Nocturnal palette was broken, they immediately contacted me and offered me a replacement, and we went about organizing that. This palette arrived like exceptionally well wrapped. It was wrapped in bubble wrap, and I don't know, I think the formula might be slightly more firmly pressed on these, so nothing arrived broken for me. I am only a couple of hours away from them, so it hasn't traveled as far as it will have to. For those of you that are international, it seems like they have either A, made some slight improvements on the formula, and B, improved their wrapping and shipping process. I have swatched this one. I will show you the swatches on the screen. I do also have a code with Glaminatrix. I don't know if you guys know that, but if you are interested in picking this one up, it is still available as part of the November pre-order. The November pre-order hasn't sold out yet, but if you use my code, it's just TME. I will put it on the screen. That will get you 10% off, and that gets you 10% off like their entire website. It's not affiliated. It's just purely so you guys can get a discount. Shadows that I haven't used in this palette yet are Belle, and I have kind of used Opulence, but not that much. Everything else I've basically used pretty well. So in this look, we obviously need to use Belle. I'm not really vibing all that much with Belle, but we'll see what we can create. Okay, so as I said, I need to use Belle. Not really vibing with Belle all that much. I am, and I have for all of these looks, used my my Gerard Cosmetics eyeshadow primer. This is their, I think it's called the Clean Canvas eyeshadow primer. And I don't know whether you guys can see, I have been finding some staining. Like the purples are giving me a lot of staining. The greens, not so much. You can see like a little bit of staining on my lower lash line outer corner here. But when I used the purple, I think in my first look, after that I had so much staining. So the matte purples, if you're pale skinned, you will get staining from that. And then I have gone in with my Urban Decay Naked 2 palette, just using the color Foxy just to set that eyeshadow primer. And I basically set from brow bone to crease. That's just how I personally like to do my eyeshadows, even with looks like this. We might start with Package, and I'm just going to blend that at the front half of my crease. We might do maybe a cut crease. I haven't done a cut crease yet using this palette. I'm going to blend that out up towards my brow. Then going into style on the same brush, I am using a MAC 217. I'm just placing this in the crease on the outer corner or the outer half of the crease, and again blending this up towards the brow. I do think that these colors go really well together. I really like these like purples and teals. I think that they work really well together. I think purple and blue and purple and green, for some reason they just go really well together. Purple and yellow go really well together as well. Such a versatile. This is why I love purple so much. It just goes with so many colors. Alrighty, now I'm going to go in with a slightly smaller brush. This is a Wayne Goss number 20, and starting with, let's go with Luxe. Just going to focus this more on the outer corner and then into the crease. Just intensify that color, basically bring it a little bit higher than the crease, just because we are going to cut the crease, so we want to have that color a little bit higher so we can see it when we cut it. I don't want to go too far in because it'll just be a waste. Now there is like a deep, it's like a really dark purple. It's almost like a blackened purple in the palette. That's this one here, Curls. You can use that one with the teal. I have like played with it with the teal, and it does kind of work with it a little bit. I probably wouldn't recommend going heavily into it. I mean, unless that's the look that you're wanting to go for. But in terms of like blending them together, I wouldn't go heavily into it. I would just like build up slowly. Because it works better with the purples, obviously. But you can, if at a pinch you want to like darken the teal a little bit more, you can resort to using that. Okay, I might just show you. I'm just going to dip a tiny little bit into the curl and just run this on that very outer corner. So you can basically almost treat it like a black, like just slowly build up. You can kind of see there we're starting to get a little bit of like depth going. I'm just going to go back into Luxe. I just don't want that really dark color to take over from this beautiful color, because I really like the color of this teal. It's beautiful. I really love Regal, but I haven't really used Tempting a lot. Regal is probably one of my faves from the palette, and Sweetly is beautiful as well, but Tempting hasn't really gotten much love from me. So I'm just running that from where I finished with the teal right around into the basically like tear duct in that crease. On the same brush as well. I don't really feel the need to change brushes like every 2.5 minutes when I'm doing my eye makeup. Then just into Sweetly, just because it's beautiful. Running that through the crease again. I'm going to go get a Q-tip or a cotton bud and some makeup remover and just clean up this front center, and then I'll lay down probably some glitter glue just to make sure we're getting the best out of the shadow. So I've got some Q-tips, and I'm just going to start by cleaning the center of it up. I don't want to keep tugging at my eyes too much because they are starting to get a little bit sensitive from filming so many different makeup looks. So I don't want to keep tugging at them and rubbing them with a Q-tip. I'm going to go in with some glitter glue, and I'm basically going to fill in that whole space that I just cleaned off. So this is one of the Ella Cosmetics detail brush. I have been raving about these brushes for years, so if you do want a brush that is super good at like really fine detail, like specifically shimmer application, these are where it's at. Now I am going to use the same brush now into Belle. I think I'm going to start on the outer side because I I don't know, I want to leave the door open in case I want to put something else down, like in case I want to put 2 shimmers down. So starting out here. I'm still not convinced by Belle. I am not convinced that this eyeshadow belongs in this palette. It's a pretty color. I just feel like it doesn't fit well with the palette. Just doesn't mesh. It's weird. It's very weird. I don't love it. Okay, and now for the inner portion. Tossing up between Opulence and Twinkle. Twinkle, Opulence, Twinkle. I think I want to go with Twinkle to see what Twinkle looks like by itself. I've only used Twinkle essentially as a topper. So let's see what we can get out of Twinkle. Oh, she's equally as beautiful by herself. Look at that, look at that, look at that. Oh my word. Oh, look at that sparkle. Oh, it's beautiful. Okay, I'm sold on Twinkle. Twinkle has my heart. She is gorgeous. I think I want to use like Style or something on the lower lash line. Kind of have lost the mattes a little bit, but maybe I can try. I'll dip in with my Real Techniques brush. I always find that this one's good for kind of like packing on shadows into luxe. Just stamping on the outer corner, following that shape. Obviously I don't want to lose the shape. I just want to get that green color back, or teal I should say. These mattes, I really like these mattes. They can be like, just because they're like a richer pigment, they can be a little bit finicky, but if you work with them, I feel like the payoff is worth it. I've done my full base. Now I'm going to do my lower lash line. I think for lower lash line, I'm going to essentially do the luxe outer corner, working my way in, and then I will do Sweetly. And then I think I want to do like a tiny little pop of Opulence, like in between the inner corner and Sweetly. So I hope that makes sense. It all makes sense once we go through. And I am going to grab my little, I don't want to use, ordinarily I would use my little Suva Beauty 350 brush, but my eyes are starting to water, so I don't want to use that because it can be a little bit scratchy. So I'm going to go with my Sonia G Flat Definer, just because it's a bit softer. My eyes are starting to disagree with doing this many looks in one day, especially my outer corner on this eye. So going into Luxe and like going on the tip of the brush. I might swap to like a little fine liner brush just because I might lay down a little bit of glitter glue. Actually, I might run, so going into Sweetly, I think I might save the glitter glue for Opulence. So just coming underneath my lashes and placing it down. And then once I get to kind of like where my lashes finish, I'm gonna bring it like out straight kind of, instead of following my lashes up into the tear duct. Hopefully this works. So just using my Too Faced glitter glue, just running that right along that edge there. Then into Opulence, just on my liner brush as well. And just stamping that where I just placed the glitter glue. Okie dokie. So this is the look I created. I think it actually turned out really nicely in the end. I really like how it looks. I feel like my mascara is still wet.
There was once a day that I would pray for you. I'd go and misbehave just so you'd notice too. Sneaking looks up and down from across the room. And damn, what a hell of a view. I feel good, you look great, I like you, I can't wait. A first time, a first date. You're so fine, I'm so late. You sip wine, I drink straight. Don't waste time to my place. I feel my heart erase. So catch me if I fall. I'm falling fast, sitting here praying that this night's gonna last. You got it all on tap, I'm loving your vibe, always have your back. We like all the same tracks, listen all night in the sheets all black. Said I'm falling fast, don't remember life before you, that's fact. I feel good, you look great, I like you, I can't wait. A first time, a first date. You're so fine, I'm so late. You sip wine, I drink straight. Don't waste time to my place. I feel my heart erase. So catch me if I fall.
5 looks that I did using the Glaminatrix Glamorous Palette. Now I just wanted to give you a quick few thoughts about the palette. I guess if you were thinking about picking it up, you were on the fence, or if you just want to know the best way, I guess, to use the formulas if you are picking it up and waiting on it in the mail. So we might go through each color. So Twinkle, I adore Twinkle. I think Twinkle is beautiful. You guys saw, I think I used Twinkle in basically 3 looks. Twinkle goes really well over the top of shadows, like as a bit of a topper, but it also goes really well by itself. I have Twinkle on my inner corner, like the cut crease here, the inner third. You guys saw me use that with a glitter glue. Oh my gosh, this color looks beautiful. It's so like sparkly and duochromy, and it's just gorgeous. I love Twinkle. I think it's beautiful. Even as an inner corner, I think I may have used it as an inner corner for something as well. It goes really well with that as well. Regal, beautiful formula for a matte purple like this. I find it's really nice. I used this for, I believe it was the wing liner. As a wing liner, it also goes really well blended, goes really well packed on. I think the formula in general on the mattes in this palette is really nice, really beautiful. I like them. I have had problems in the past with Glaminatrix, like really deep mattes. They can be troublesome to blend, and they can also get a little bit patchy. Haven't really found that with any of these, other than like when my eyes have gone a little bit watery, but that's not really this palette's to blame. Belle, I'm still not sold on Belle. I have Belle like on the outer half of this cut crease here, and when I compare Belle to Twinkle, I feel like they give a very similar effect, and out of the two of them, I much prefer like the sparkle and the impact from Twinkle as opposed to Belle. I think Belle is a waste of space. I think Belle's a waste of time. I don't love it. I don't love the effect. I much prefer like the high shine sparkle to Twinkle. If it came down to it, I would use Twinkle every day of the week over Belle. Luxe is freaking gorgeous. Luxe, I love the tone and the color of this teal. It pairs so well with so many other things in this palette. I think it's just such a beautiful color. I will be using this a lot, and it's actually a really nice teal to work with as well in terms of the formula. Generous, gorgeous. Generous, I find, is kind of one of my go-tos for inner corners. I think it's a really beautiful color on its own over the lid. You can get like more of a like neutrally leaning eyeshadow look when you use Generous. It's not so like in your face. And this is one that you could probably pair with a lot of other palettes. Like if you even have the Nearly Natural from Glaminatrix, you could use this on the lid as a shimmer. Tempting, out of all of the purples, probably not my favorite tone. I do feel like it's a little bit too similar to Sweetly. And if it comes down to out of the both of them, I prefer the tone of Sweetly over Tempting. Tempting I found hard to reach for. When it came down to it, I always found myself reaching for Sweetly. Sweetly, beautiful tone, beautiful to work with, beautiful to blend with, and it's a good builder in between like Regal, curls, package. Like it kind of stands in that middle really comfortably. Dreamy is by its name, by nature, it is dreamy, beautiful. It gives you like that beautiful like duochromy effect. I would recommend with Dreamy, however, using a glitter glue, especially if you're wanting that really impactful high shine. Glitter glue all the way, otherwise you're going to get glitter, bukkake falling out all over the place. Do your eyes first when you use this palette. I would highly recommend doing your eyes first, especially if you want to use a lot of the colors, play with a lot of the colors and like really pack them on. I would recommend doing your eyes first because you're going to get a bit of fall down. With the glitters, you can get a little bit of sparkle all over your face. So if you do your eyes first, it means easy cleanup and then you don't have to redo your whole base again. Style, again, is a good in between with Luxe. Like you can blend Luxe out using Style, or you can blend Style into Luxe. Like they're a good distance apart from each other to blend into each other. I do really like them. Opulence. I didn't think I would like Opulence, but the few looks that I did use with Opulence, I really liked them. Opulence in terms of formula, I find that like Opulence and Generous, they're quite a similar formula. Dreamy, I think, is that like really high shine that they were talking about. Belle formula wise, it's easy to work with, but I just, like I said, I don't enjoy it as much as I enjoy Twinkle. It just doesn't give me that effect that I really like, and that effect that I love from Glaminatrix shadows. Glaminatrix shadows I find are like the best when it comes to high shine, impact, like beaming to the gods kind of effect. Belle it's just not it for me. Package, again, it's a nice kind of lighter tone in terms of the purple, but I just find that the tone of it is a little bit off when it comes to easy blending into the other purples, but you can definitely work with it. And I did use it to like blend out the top of the shadow here. Curls, it is a nice addition to the palette, and it's like that deep blackened purple that you can easily pair and blend into the other ones. I would be careful with it though, because I do feel like it has a tendency to go a little bit patchy if you aren't careful, but I do think it's a good tone and it's a good pairing with the rest of the palette. So all in all, I do really like this palette, and I kind of knew I would love it when I first saw it because I am a massive lover of purples. It is kind of a very purple heavy palette, and I do think that the colors they've chosen to pair with the purples in this palette, they've done a really good job on that. It is that higher price tag, but Glaminatrix palettes in general are up there in price, especially for an Australian eyeshadow palette. And given that it's only a 12 pan eyeshadow palette, but I do really enjoy the Glaminatrix formula, particularly the shimmers. I don't think this disappoints, but it is a very unique color story. If you don't think that you'll use it, I would definitely hold off. If you are a lover of purples, I don't think you'll be disappointed with this. I think the formula is really nice on this palette, and those shimmers, chef's kiss as always from Glaminatrix. I do really like this palette, and I'm happy that I picked it up. Let me know, out of all of the looks, which one was your favorite? How have you been finding this palette if you've got yours already? Are you planning on picking this one up? I will leave all of the details linked down below in the description box. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed down below if you did enjoy this video and you want to keep up to date on all my future beauty content. That's it for this video, beautiful. I hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day. I hope that you are staying safe, healthy, and looking after yourself. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye, beautiful.